Hello.
Hey, I think
I,
our
I
kid's
like your
having a hard time logging on. I'm gonna try to send the link again.
okay. I like your background.
Thank you. I just a little improvement. So we have a little bit of technical difficulties with our guests coming on. So I just had to send them another email link. So hopefully they'll come on soon. In the meantime, Miss Griselda, how you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. Is my
Pretty good.
audio okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, this weather crazy. It's like 80 degrees outside.
Yeah.
You
Compared
know,
to what
I
we're gonna
tell
have on.
people though, you know what? You even with this weather being what it is, you still should dress not because of the weather, but for the weather, meaning that it's still cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you could still get sick. So don't dress. I know it's 80 degrees outside, but you should still layer up and just take your layers off. That at least that's how I look at it. Like I don't fool around. But I'm not
Right.
very one like I know my wife like she's if we go to a warm climate and then come back and it's cold, she gets sick. I normally don't, but she does.
Yeah, me either. Because I actually when I travel, I like to travel light on a plane or in a car because I don't want to,
Uh-huh.
even if we
Okay.
leaving from here and it's cold, I try to
Okay.
layer my clothes, wear a long sweater.
Yeah. All right. Look like we got Team Woods in the building.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
We good?
Yep, we good. We good. I just need to see you a better half though. There she is. what up, Team Woods?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
All
Good.
right.
How are
What up,
you?
though? What up, though?
Okay, explain to this what's going on because we have no idea. I just seen marriage
Hey, well, you
chronicles.
know what? That's all the better. That way, I know y'all ain't prepping for this thing. Y'all gonna keep it real.
Lord.
So
No, we
Oh,
freestyling. No, we
Lord.
freestyling.
that's what I want. So the purpose of this podcast is designed for really for Black couples. That's why it's called Black Marriage Chronicles. And what we do is we talk to couples who have been married. I don't care how long they've been married, 5 years or 15 years. We talk to them with the hopes of being able to glean from them the things that they may have gone through in their marriage to hopefully help other people in their marriages, no matter how new or how old their marriages is, because at the end of the day, everybody's journey in their marriage is different. So what you go through, what I go through is maybe different. Don't mean you can't help me. I could have been married longer than you, but that don't mean the things that you've gone through in your marriage couldn't also provide some help for me in my marriage. Right. So that's what this is designed to do. And we have a little fun too. So it's not always just, we don't just, just talk and it's just straight questions, because I do have some questions that I've written down, but I also use those questions to hopefully open up other avenues that we can dive into that hopefully again will help other people in their marriage. And again, that's the purpose of the podcast and the channel. Now, my colleague on the show, she's a marriage counselor. She's also a relationship expert. Her name is Griselda Ramsey. I'll let her give you her pedigree and then I'll jump back in.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good to meet both of you. I'm Griselda. I've been doing therapy for about 21 years. I do a lot of work with couples and with a lot of people in general, but that's one of my niches, is working with couples to try to keep people together and work out the barriers that they may be having in their relationships, or those who are trying to get married. I've got quite a few people coming to me now that are divorced and trying to remarry. So that's an interesting whole piece right there. So I've been able to dive into that a little bit, but I'm happy to be here and happy to be here with the two of you.
Thank you.
We happy to be here too.
Yeah, so I want to clarify, and thank you so much for your giving us your background too, Griselda. She's not here to counsel you two. I'm not. I just wasn't no trick to get you into some form of marriage counseling. I don't know what's going on with y'all. She's only here to provide the context. So when you guys tell us some of the things that have gone on in your relationship that may have caused you some trouble, some angst, some pains, she's here to break those things down for some other people who may either be going through it or may face those trials and tribulations, and hopefully to give them the coping skills to get through it. And along with your live experience, because you went through it and you're on the other side of it now. So of course, with you lived through it. So also to give your experience and what tools you use to get through it. But she's here to give her professional opinion about what happened. So that's it. All right. Oh, okay. So before we get started, I also like to say that I don't take the institution of marriage lightly. I'm on my second marriage, and I say that in the context that you coming on here and me reaching out to Billy and Bill. I know Bill, so let me just also, me and Billy went to school together, but
I know the way you saying Billy. I know that you know him from school. Wow, I see who it is now. I couldn't even tell who you was.
No,
you had the hat on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I know who you are.
So when I reached out to him, he definitely was all in. You know, he wanted to make sure he reached out to his wife to make sure it was okay with you. But we don't take this lightly here. So your presence, being here and being able to be transparent and keep everything 100 here on this show is not being taken lightly. I understand the institution of marriage is sacred. So what you share here today, we don't take it lightly. We appreciate you coming on and sharing your experiences, and hopefully your experience here will not only help me possibly in my marriage, Griselda in her marriage, but also whoever is going to be watching this, our viewers are going to be watching this. That is the end. At the end of the day, that is the ultimate goal, to be able to help other people get through whatever they may be going through. It may not be anything particular, the things that you share with us here today, but whatever it is, hopefully it'll help them get through it. So that's it. All right, cool. All right, so well, now that we didn't got that part of it out the way, like I said, we do play games on the show. So all the games that I introduced to you today were inspired by Black game artists. This one is called Culture Tags. And if you want to play this game, you're more than welcome to, call somebody and get them on. They'll only be in for just to answer the question. But the 4 categories was a couple of different categories with this game. It's you got church, you have words to live by, you have Black Twitter, daily sayings, family and friends, TV and film. So just think about it. You don't have to choose this right now. I want to introduce you to the other games. But this is one, if you wanted a lifeline, you can call somebody and get it. All right. Okay. And then the other game is called Let's Talk. So again, all these games are inspired by Black game artists. So if you want to play this game, like I said, it's called Let's Talk. These are normally games that you will probably play between yourselves, just kind of spark up conversation. If you ain't doing nothing at home and y'all, want to have some fun, you pull this game out. This is called Naughty Nice. All right, so you guys just need to
get those games at Amazon, or where do you?
Yeah, you can order them on Amazon. Yep.
Okay.
You can order them on Amazon. All right, so you guys just need to let me know which game you want to play, and then we'll get started.
It don't make no difference. Whichever one
you choose.
Okay.
Let's go with number 3.
Okay, Naughty Nice. All right, Naughty Nice. Naughty Nice it is. All right, so if you would mind, let's tell us a little bit about your marriage. We want to know how long you've been married. How did you meet? Are there children involved? Give us the number of children that you guys have. Before you do that, if for whatever reason you have to step away, because I do, like I said, I do know y'all personally, so I know y'all grandparents, and I don't want to tell too much of y'all story, but if you need to step away, we keep it real on this show. I don't edit out too much. If you got to step out for a second, please, by all means, do so. If the grandkids come in, y'all need to put them on your lap. Do what you need to do. We keep it 100 on the show. This is not we make things up.
So if I got a boo-boo, I can just say I got a boo-boo. I'll be right back.
Yep, you sure can, sir. All right, so go ahead and give us a little context to your marriage, please. Tell us what's going on.
We've been married going on 34. No. We've been together.
Hey, here we go.
Years, so
here we go.
We'll be married 32 years this year.
Okay.
And been together.
And been together 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
32.
We have 2 kids, 2 boys, 2 grown boys, 5 grandkids.
Wow.
3 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
What else? I don't know.
I went to Oak Park High School.
Yes. 32,
30.
August 3rd, it'll be 32 years.
Oh, wow.
So okay, yeah, and Rhonda, your wife's name is Rhonda. So Rhonda, you went to Oak Park too?
No, I went to Ferndale, but I lived in Oak Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to Ferndale. Well, I went to a few schools, but Ferndale was my primary.
Okay.
I grew up in Oak Park.
She was on Grant side, dog.
Yeah, okay. So you was on my side of town.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm from Oak Park, but I went to Grant with the kids on Grant
She went
side.
to the best.
Yeah, best and
Okay,
Jackson.
Gotcha. I know everybody in the audience like, who?
But I knew
what is this?
a lot of people from Oak Park.
Gotcha.
Because I lived in Oak Park. I just stayed on the other side of where he stayed.
Gotcha. Okay, so how did y'all meet then?
At the cleaners.
The cleaners on 10 Mile and Coolidge, next to Hungry Howie's.
Next to Hungry.
I've been there.
Okay. So I mean,
I worked at the cleaner.
You worked at the cleaners?
Yes, and he was going to Hungry Howie's, but he parked right in front of the cleaners.
Okay.
And I gave her the famous. That's how I put it. That's what I put it.
Okay. So, first of all, he is the only guy that I've ever called first. And I only did it because I was really bored. I just,
Ooh.
But the line that he gave me was something that normal, any other day, I probably would have said, yeah, whatever, go. But all he said, looked over and said, hey, give me your number. I'm like, you don't even know my name. So he said, he got out the car and came in, and that's how we started talking. So yeah.
It was a simple one-liner, huh, Bill?
One line, one hooker.
one and done, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so y'all said y'all got 5 kids? Or 5 grandkids?
No, 5 grandkids.
5 grandkids.
5
grandkids.
Okay. And 2 kids.
All right. Okay, great. And do you guys have the grandkids a lot? Are they over often?
Yeah. Yes. Those are bad.
Those are bad. You listen, ain't nothing like that. When I became a grandparent, I promise you.
Like being a grandparent.
It really ain't. It really ain't, Rhonda. That's one of the best feelings in the world. And you love them a little different. And I didn't understand this coming up. Why my grandmothers really how they felt about us. Now I see why they felt about us the way they did, and would probably hurt one of their kids about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bill, do you remember when you proposed to your wife? If so, do you remember? Can you tell us how it was? I mean, and then when you would tell us what you did to propose, Rhonda, I want to know how you felt when he did.
You see her looking at me crazy?
Yeah, I see. I want to know. I'm asking Bill. Do he remember when he proposed? What happened? And then I want to know you, Rhonda, how you felt.
I do and I don't.
Okay.
It was 2 different situations, but it was kind of one situation was,
He keeps saying I proposed with him. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think she said, let's get married, and I said, okay.
No, that's not how it went. The real story, how it went was.
Okay, the real story was Sharon.
Yeah. He was with Deldrick. You know Deldrick?
Yeah, I remember Deldrick.
From the township. Yeah. So they were hanging out one night, and I think he came home. He was living with his mom, but I was always there. So it's like I was there too.
Okay.
And I think he came home kind of late. So I was mad at him to the point where I was like, it's not gonna work, whatever. His mom was so mad and disappointed. She called her best friend. Her best friend came over, was talking to us, and he just got down on his knees and said, will you marry me? And we had, our youngest was in my arms. He was like a month or 2 months old.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it went. But the story about, he said I asked him to marry him, I don't know what he's talking about. It must have been a good night. I don't know.
You don't know where he done pulled that one from, huh, Ron?
It must have been a really really good night, and I was just, on cloud nine, but I don't remember that part. So I'm gonna say that didn't happen.
Okay. Oh, do you remember how you felt, Rhonda, when he asked you?
I mean, I was like, okay, how did we go from I'm trying to break up to you asking me to marry? But of course, I was happy, and of course, I said, yeah,
But you gotta understand though that we was real young.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was kids.
When we met, I was 18, he was 19. So yes.
We got married at 21, 22.
And to take it even further, our oldest son I didn't actually birth. She was pregnant when I met him. So we've been, but he's mine, he's been there. I've been there since day one, so he's mine. So a lot of people don't know that, but we raised them together along with his other mother, but I'm his mother too. So
right. Well,
yeah.
You know what? Let's talk about that a little bit. Y'all got married young, so y'all got a lot of. I mean, y'all can provide a lot of history.
20. Yeah, I was 21. He was 22. So yeah,
and you know how we was ripping and running in the streets back in the day.
Yeah, so absolutely. We went through.
Right.
The baby drama.
So was there?
Yeah.
So Rhonda, was there any baby mama drama?
Yes.
How did you handle that?
Yes, it was. Hey, we still here, so it worked out. But he never let that. He let her know. She knew from the beginning. It was hard for her because he was her first.
Okay.
So she, and she got pregnant the first time, so it was very hard for her. But I don't know. Yeah, she's married. She has another son and a grown son now and all of that. But yeah, it was drama.
Okay.
It was drama.
All right. Yeah. Y'all been married 32 years. So was there ever a time during the 32 years where y'all thought about calling it quits? Y'all got married young.
Yes.
Can you go?
Yes, I'll elaborate on that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? We pretty much just not rekindling our relationship, but we just not getting back focused on our marriage.
Okay.
And each other, because we was both. And she worked 12 hours a day. I'm still trying to get my business together and everything. So we have kind of fell off track, just slightly through lack of communication.
Okay.
Through other things, but through the faith of God, and we go to church. We into to God. So you know what I'm saying. And she has them old school morals and values as a wife, as a mother, as a lady. And she just, and you know what type of guys we are. She's the type of guy, type of female that I needed to hold me down in the direction I was going with. You know what I'm saying? From trying to dip and dab in the streets, trying to go, make me go legit. You know what I'm saying? So she saved my life. I say that all the time. She saved my life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we was young, so we kind of, his mother say I raised him, but we raised each other because we were so young. So it's just, but it's through it all. The bottom line is the most thing that kept us together was we just really friends. Like we really like each other, and we know even if we didn't make it, we will still be friends because we got family. His family love my family love his family.
Right.
So it's like no matter what,
so y'all pointed out something key, because that was going to be my follow-up question. Like, what would you say that's the one thing that has held y'all marriage together? But y'all said y'all got a friendship.
Yeah, we really do. And I don't know if it's because we was both from Oak Park, so I knew a lot of Oak Park people. We knew a lot of friends, so we just clicked. We always pretty much like the same things, and
we're from that era, that late '80s era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we start, you know, you know, I look at Darnell and Sonya, you know what I'm saying? They longevity, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I try to follow in the footsteps in that, and especially when you got I knew for a fact that I had a good girl back then. You know what I'm saying? You know, it wasn't no, it wasn't no, you know, no hood right type of mentality or no type of negative mentality. She came from a good family, good background, morals and values, church going family. You know what I'm saying? So it just enhanced my life. And like I said, but she did raise me. I would never deny that. She did raise me to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Because she,
I mean,
she keep the snakes and the vultures away from me.
Well, you know, and I do want you to chime in, Griselda, but you know what, Bill, I say this, women, they mature so much faster than we do. They do. And I used to didn't want to admit that, but they do. Absolutely. So they be on stuff that we're not even on. And the Bible, when the Bible speaks of wisdom, it's always in the female gender. So we should be listening to them. Even if we don't necessarily agree with what they have to say, we should at least listen. And I'm not talking listening just to be like, okay, I heard what you said and I'm going to still do what I'm going to do. But no, listen to her and take into consideration what she's saying. They are our helpmate. So I agree. But Griselda, when you counsel younger couples going through things in their marriage, and what do you say to them?
Well, actually, I'm working with a couple right now, 23 and 25. I think they've been married maybe a year and a half, and they didn't date very long either. So, and she actually raised a good point of like wishing she could have seen 4 seasons of him before marrying him, which was a very good point. Like when you get together, you know, have you seen his anger? Have you seen how he handles conflict, or vice versa? Because you want to kind of navigate through those things. Personally, in all my experience, I don't advise people. My recommendation, I'll say, would be for women not to marry under 25 and men not to marry until they look closer to 30 because of all the stuff that they just explained. But I know people don't generally always wait that long. So nevertheless, you know, and that's not absolute for everybody, because there are some people that are very mature and well-rounded before that time. But it's just that you have, you know, women and men need time to figure out who they are and who they are as men and who they are as women before, you know, and then you forego so many things getting married so young, which is why you all oftentimes see cheating and breaking up and getting back together in relationships with young people, because they don't really understand how to navigate all that stuff. And they haven't lived and experience that stuff. So now you want to experience it in the marriage, and you can't do that, but it happens. And so if you are able to survive all of that and have a strong marriage for 32 years or 20 years or 15 years, then it has shaped you, because it does shape you. It shapes you, especially navigating through that pain and that conflict and betrayal. It does shape you. And if you're able to make it through to the other side, I think it makes a very strong marriage, because you've been through all the craziness. Now you like, you know, the smooth sailing side where you know, nothing bothers you as much. And so you're kind of able to kind of navigate through that. And I do like the fact that they said at this point, you know, God is at the center of their life. And that scripture, as she was talking about, when his mother says that she raised him, my thought was that the Bible talks about a sanctified woman sanctifies her husband. And how you live your life in front of the man that you're with, it makes a difference. And it will at some point, hopefully, bring him to God, or really kind of help him straighten his life out to the point where he's at least living a morally good life, if it's not a spiritually good life. And so that's a good thing too.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny that it's been almost like a common theme on here where, but it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how women, you guys, y'all mature so much faster than we do, but it's been a common theme, with the exception of maybe 2 couples that I had on here, where the men, we in it, but we got to get ourselves together. They here they is holding like, listen, I believe in you, but I need you to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Before I walk away. And it's normally the women like, listen, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna hang in here, but I'm in here. I need you to pull it together, you know? And that's been it's been pretty much a common theme on this since I've been doing this, that women, they knew what they wanted off rip, but it's us, we not saying that we didn't want it, but we still trying to navigate, still trying to have one toe, quote unquote, in the street, one in the house. You know what I'm saying? And because I've been there, done that.
And hoping she don't leave in the and hoping she don't
one
leave
in the street, one in the house. And then the fact that you know you got a down woman for you, you taking that for granted. We taking it for granted and not really, you know, and it's a blessing that we was able to say, like, I mean, Bill, you recognize like early on, like, hey, I know I got a good woman. Let me pull it together. You know what I'm saying? Before I do lose her.
Yeah, but I have actually, like I said, I actually have had to check myself regarding taking her for granted.
Yeah.
I have had to check myself on several occasions. You know what I'm saying? Because with me, for one, I'm a tourist the bull, and then two, male pride ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying?
It really ain't, brother. You right about that.
You know what I'm saying?
So Rhonda, let me ask you, when you've had those moments where Bill's ego has gotten in the way, or his stubbornness of being a tourist has gotten in the way, what did you do to navigate that? Where were you at?
Okay, yeah, I'm a Gemini, so sometimes we bump heads, but I don't know. Like I said, that's a good question. I don't know. I guess I just some kind of way stuck in there, because one thing about us, we can be mad at each other. We're not gonna go no more than 2 days. It's really more than 2 days. We go without us eventually sitting down and talking and trying to just talk it out or whatever. Okay. But yeah, he's very stubborn. So a lot of times, you know, he try to play the hard road or this or that, but then he eventually, you know. But like my main thing is communication. You know, a woman is going to tell you, most women tell you what the problem is, you know, because we talk, but it's up to you to listen, to hear, and to, you know, take heed or try to do something about it, or you just gonna she just talking. So, you know, sometimes it takes him a couple of days to finally hear what I'm saying, but you know.
Yeah.
But I absolutely agree with what's your name again? I keep forgetting.
Griselda.
I absolutely agree with you as far as not marrying before 25, at least 25 for the women, because and then I say maybe 30 for the men, because men are I gotta get something out of the system.
Right. And you know what? I agree, you know, and I say that as well. I don't advise women, like I said, y'all mature so much faster than we do. Men, I don't think men, I didn't get married. I got married later on. I think I was in my 30s when I had my first marriage. But I definitely advise men. I would tell my son right now, don't get married to after 30. Because give yourself time, even if you're in a long-term committed relationship, like still just give yourself a little bit of time to make sure it's what you want to do. Because like Griselda pointed out earlier, when you get married so young, your friends out here doing something, and now you living vicariously through their life, and like, shoot, especially if things ain't going right at home, now you want to step
vicariously or intentionally.
Yeah. You know, now you want to go ahead and try to live that life that you didn't get a chance to live, you know. I forget how that Donnell Jones song go, where he say he want to break up. I forget how it go. I'll think of it, but he wants to break up with his girl because he want to get back out here in the street, or you know, he feel like he done missed out on some things. So I totally agree with that.
Temptation is a bad dude too, though. So all that go hand in hand.
What is a bad dude?
Temptation.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you know what, Bill? I agree with you, but temptation gonna happen no matter what.
That's what I'm saying.
Where you at in your marriage? You know what I'm saying? Y'all got 32 years in, and you can't tell me that neither one of y'all still ain't tempted, or the fact that you don't find somebody of the opposite sex attractive. Like your wife's still a woman, you still a man.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna find somebody. The thing is not to act on it.
And that's the thing that I wanted to say though, regarding on that. Like I say, both of us, like I say, we done had our trials and tribulations with this and that, with infidelity and everything. We conquered that and we survived that, and we came back bigger and stronger and everything. And one thing about it though, with me and her, we was never insecure with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we was never, you know, we don't go through phone, we don't go through wallets or purses, and you know what I'm saying? We don't
and
do all
and that's
that.
key to be able to have that trust. You mentioned infidelity. Was that infidelity on both y'all parts or just one person's part?
Both of us part.
Both.
Wow.
Both of us part. And it was saying, and it was about the same, doing the same time.
But for my part, it was more, I hate to say this, but it was more tit for tat. It was more, I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of, you know, telling you what you're not doing. You know, you can't start doing something and then when you know, out there feeling yourself, then you start acting a different way. So mine was more out of, okay, I'm gonna show you better than, you know, and it was young, you know, it was young mentality too, and it was, you know, all of it played a role. But yeah,
let me ask you this, because I know as men, like, and we've talked about this on this show, like women tend to forgive that infidelity a little. They tend to forgive. Not that they forget it, but they tend to forgive. Bill, how did you process that when you found out your wife was unfaithful?
Not well.
It hurt me. It hurt me, you know, to a real hard, real, you know what I'm saying? I took it real hard, but when we was going through everything, I had to flip the script and put myself in her shoes. You dig? So I had to, you know, be like, okay, well, you know, I had to flip the script and understand where she was coming from. Knew what I wasn't doing, because I'm you know, like she said, I was feeling myself, you know, living, you know, two different lives out here, and BSing in the streets. But I flipped the script and put myself in the street, and that's how, I mean, her shoes, and that's how we survived and overcame that.
Yeah, and that's big as a man. Like, you when and Jen, I thought Rhonda was gonna say, you know, she said she did it just to kind of show you better, she tell you, but I think most of the times, and Rhonda, maybe you can give a little clarity to this, but most of the time when women do step out, because what I'm listening for is that my husband is not hearing me, so it's more for emotional reasons, not because
you exactly 100% right. Yeah,
right, my husband is not hearing me. So and then
it was, I'm tired of talking to you, I'm tired of showing you, so okay, not, you know, enough talk, you're not hearing me, you know, so it was,
and my wife usually says this. She says that if a woman starts telling you stuff and then you're not hearing, it makes the stuff that she hear in the street much louder. So if I'm not telling you how attractive you are, hey baby, I love you, or whatever it is, then of course, Rhonda, if you're out in the street, whoever that guy is, because y'all get hit on all the time. So if a guy telling you stuff that your husband is not telling you, it's a little bit, it becomes more amplified than normal.
That's true, but I you know, back then I'm working on it, but I've come a long way. But I was also like a tit for tat, you know, like.
No, I'm not denying you that. I agree with you. I'm
trying to say to you, so I'm done talking. You know, it was more like one of those. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Your wife is, she's right.
Bill, so in that, like you said, y'all worked through it. Did your wife communicate to you? I mean, did you ask why, or you was just like, you just put yourself in her shoes and you understood it and then just moved on?
We talked about it in depth. You know what I'm
saying? We actually, you know what I'm saying, separated for about 3 weeks, and you know, then when we you know, finally got to talking, we talked like all night, probably 2 nights in a row, just all night, and then just started, you know, working through some stuff.
So I have a question now. I have a question about the separation came when he found out about your infidelity or his?
Yes, mine. But see, this is the thing. It's kind of funny because one night we was laying up in bed talking, and we play confessions. He confessed it to a lot of stuff.
Listening to Ursula.
He confessed. And I was actually talking to my two best friends on the phone about him confessing, and they knew what I had done, and they said, you know, well, you better not say nothing. And I said, oh, I would never say nothing. And the next night, he started talking, so we started talking again. He said, okay, baby, I confess I did this and that. What about you? And I just bust out crying. I was just, you know, so that's how he found out. And then he couldn't take it for a while.
Bill, let me ask you something. Did you have an inclination that there was something going on, or you was like, okay, man, it's your turn?
Not really. I didn't have no inclination because, like I say, because I pictured her, I painted her as not a square, not a good girl. You know what I mean? A good girl, a good wholesome girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it, you know, it was possible. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I was living a double life back then. You know what I'm saying? I was.
And the thing, and you know what's so crazy, Bill, is that we as men, and I think you, this is what you were, and you correct me if this is what you were trying to say or wasn't trying to say. One, I hear like maybe you took your wife for granted, but two, I think that you were looking at like, she's not gonna do this. And I think generally as men, we don't think that door swings both ways. We don't think that door swings both ways, and it does. So of course, when we hear about it, we like, you did what? How you gonna do this to me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's that ego. Because I remember he said, so what? And I said, when you did it, and with more people and more times than I did, so what? It's me. I'm Billy. I'm like, what? But he could not handle it to the fact that my stepfather and him are very close. He called him his dad. And he said, I got to talk to somebody. I got to talk to a male. So he told him, and I had to tell my mother. And my mother was actually kind of mad at me for a quick second. She, you know, this is not, you know, we don't do this or whatever. But you know, when I got to telling her, well, Ma, this many times, she said, oh, well, he better get over it. And his mother said the same. His mother said the exact same thing. Tell him to get over it. You know, he wasn't perfect either. So, yeah.
Okay.
We end up.
What advice did your stepfather give you, Bill, when you went to
him? Well, like I say, my dad, you know, he's from the old school, you know what I'm saying, laid back, reserved. He just put it in my head, I still gotta hold my family, keep my family together, you know what I'm saying? And that was kind of, let me back up real quick. That was when I was younger growing up. We had kids at such a young age, but our kids was involved in our marriage and our life, you know, like we was mama and daddy or whatever, but I refused to let my kids be raised by another guy or be out or not be there for my kids back then at that growing up. So the kids had a lot of pull.
I think the kids kind of made us fight harder, to be honest with you.
You know what? First of all, I want to give y'all a round of applause because Bill, you as a black man, to say that, like, I did not want to make sure that my kids were raised by somebody else is very honorable, brother. You know what I'm saying? As black men, because we have a lot of absentee fathers out here that's not handling their business. Period. So for you to
our oldest, she got married when he was about what, 8, I think. And you know, when he seen that she was getting serious, or he knew she was getting serious because she was pregnant with her husband's child, told him he told her, I want to meet him. I want to meet the guy that's going to be in my son's, be there, you know, basically in a household with my And from the beginning, they met on the basketball court and they've been friends, you know. So he knew he got to know him and knew that he was a good guy and that he only, like myself, we didn't actually, you know, he don't have our blood, but he's still as much as his as he is mine. So he says to this day, he have 4 parents. So, you know,
that's
so that part was easy.
Right.
Let me add one more thing in real quick about this, about us. Okay, we were dealing with 2 situations. For one, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2000.
Okay.
2001.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what we was, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know, didn't have no knowledge of it, you know what I'm saying? Didn't know what was going on with my situation back then. So she took it up on herself to make sure that she held me down emotionally, mentally, and everything down. The first thing she said, okay, well, we got this together. You know, we got to get through this together. And so, to this day, like I said, so that was another thing. And then I did 2 years in prison.
Okay.
I did 2 years in prison in 2006 to 2008, and she only missed 2 visits out of 2 years.
Wow. You know what?
But that's what any woman that loves it should do. I mean, that's not, to me, that's not. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, I've been there, done that myself, so I get it. But what I wanted to say was this. Y'all, that sounds like when you standing up there and you're saying those vows, for better, for worse, for sickness and in health. I do want to touch on what Bill just said. Because I think when you look at that, you don't look at it in terms of if the person gets sick. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, and this is just me. Maybe I'm looking at it. I think sometimes when you say it's sometimes it's just words, but it becomes real when your partner or your mate is going through something really, and you have to really put not a rubber meets the road. And it looks like that's exactly what happened. So Bill, you know, he said he got diagnosed with MS for sickness and health. Like Rhonda, like when you found out about it, how did you process that, and how has that affected your marriage?
We put it together. It was no. He tried to give me a little speech like, if you want to leave, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. If you want to leave, why? Anybody that love, why? That don't even sound right to me.
Right.
And that wouldn't be a real woman or a real man, because MS, anybody can get that. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody can go out there and get in a car accident and your life changed.
Yeah.
But your mate to leave you because your life is not, you're not the same person now.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's huge, and hats off to you for, you know, like
health would never be because of his health. It would never be that, you know. Like he say, till the wheels fall off, and I say, and when they fall off, we're gonna get you some more, baby. I'm gonna be right there pushing you.
There you go.
So that's how I look at that.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Griselda, have you had to counsel couples when one or the other has been going through some major health changes or issues, and how do they navigate that? Because I know, well, I don't know because I haven't gone through it, but I imagine there has to be some. Each person has to be processing this a little bit differently. What they're going to do, how this is going to affect their life, how it's going to affect the entirety of their marriage. Like, well, what do you say to couples when they go through something like this?
I think at the end of the day, there are lots of factors that play into that. You know, when you say sickness or health, generally probably in your mind, you're thinking when we get old and somebody, you know, things happen as you age. You don't really process that as, you know, we get married today and next, you know, and I've heard that, like, we got married in July and in September she was diagnosed with breast cancer, you know, stuff like that. So you don't expect that, but your vows are supposed to be there for a reason, and you're supposed to uphold those vows. And, you know, I think for her, I really commend her, because after going through all the drama and the infidelity, the fact that she's like, this is my husband and I'm gonna hold him down. You many women would not do that. Like then you went to prison. I mean, so a lot of women would not. It's like a lot going on, and I don't, want to say anything bad about anybody who whatever decision they make as far as that's concerned. But some people think like, well, I'm young, I don't want to take care of no sick person, and people have said that and done that, and so at the end of the day, is it fair? Maybe not. When that person has held you down and took care of you and they've been the provider and now they're sick and you just want to walk out the door. No, I don't think that's fair. But, at the end of the day, I can't judge what a person decides to do in those situations. And I have counseled people who, the wife may have, like I have a client now who, she's gone through several bouts of cancer. And a lot of times people feel helpless, and I think they act out sometimes because they feel so helpless and not really know what to do to help you. Men are fixers. They see a problem, they want to fix it. When they can't fix it, it puts them in a very, very uncomfortable situation. And sometimes people act out either through anger or they turn outward because they don't know they don't know how to process those feelings on the inside of what they're going through. So I think the vows are what they are, and we should try at all costs to honor our vows when we marry somebody. And we need to know who we're marrying. We need to marry for the right reasons. So when you have people who, you gained 20 pounds, I'm not attracted to you, or that kind of stuff is like, people are going to change in seasons as they get older, and you have to be willing to ride the wave with me as I get older, and as you get older, we're going to change, and you got to be willing to ride that wave. And if you need to know that up front, that you're going to be able to do this or not get married. Right. So it can be challenging depending on your circumstances. Some sicknesses can drain people financially. So it's a lot of things that play a role in those kind of situations for couples. And every couple is not going to handle it the same. Yeah. And, can't say one way or other what they choose to do. Hopefully they will honor the vows and stick it out, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Even with mental health, it doesn't even have to be physical health. You got a person who's, at some point diagnosed with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and they're doing all kinds of things that, and sometimes they can't stay in those situations because it can become dangerous. So there are lots of things that play a role into, whether a couple can weather that kind of storm or not.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And it sounds like you said, Rhonda, you didn't even give it a second thought. Like he tried to give you the speech, give you an out. Bill tried to give you an out, but you like, listen, I don't want to hear that.
I still was in love with, I still love him. So I don't know. But when she broke it down, I can see different situations, and everybody's situation is
different. Absolutely. Okay, so we gonna we done been a little serious here, so we're gonna break things up a little bit. We're gonna keep it a little light. Ron, I am mindful of the time. I know your husband told me that you have to go to work today, so we'll try to, if everybody's okay, we might go just a little bit over, maybe 15 minutes over, but I'll make sure you get out of here. Okay. All right, so here's one question. Your partner describes his or her dream body type as the exact opposite of yours. What do you do? A, tell them to apologize. B, nothing. Beauty is only skin deep. C, break up since clearly you're not what they wanted. Or D, invite someone with a body type into the relationship.
That's a trick question.
You said what?
No, there's no trick question.
What's the choices?
Okay, A, tell them to apologize. B, nothing. Beauty is only skin deep. C, break up since clearly you're not what they want. Or D, invite someone with the body type into the relationship.
A or B?
We gotta go with B.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Here's the third question.
Evidently it's something he like, huh?
All right. Hey, a person you're dating tells you they don't believe relationships were designed to last forever, but promise to give you the best 2 years of your life with no cheating, lies, or heartbreaks. Would you give it a try? A, yes. B, no. Or C, it depends.
That makes sense.
No, we give it a try.
Unless it was Oprah.
Yeah. And you had a prenup. You get some out there after 2 years.
What's your? So I didn't get. I'm sorry. What's your answer?
B.
B. No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question. What post-sex activity feels the best? A, cuddling. B, sleeping. C, talking about life. Or D, another round.
So you gotta say D.
I know women always do.
I
like cuddling.
Yeah,
too.
we like cuddling.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, we cuddle a lot.
Yeah, that's how we fall asleep.
Okay. Let me ask y'all this: has your definition of marriage changed after 32 years?
Not really, but the only thing I can say is I'm glad. I want to say is I'm glad there wasn't no social media back then.
Hey, amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we both come from old school. Yeah. We both come from old school ethics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for me, I kind of look at it like, I mean, it seems like when we argue, it be like little stuff, or it don't last a long time. It's like, okay, we know we're gonna be together. That ain't nothing, right. So it kind of.
And we still go on. We go on dates, you know what I'm saying? We try, we still
do date.
I'm still attracted. We still attracted to each other.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, good. That's good. So do y'all schedule date night, or is it something? It's just kind of you just kind of impromptu do it? Is it
No, we just kind of. Well, by me, my schedule is kind of crazy, so I'm off a lot of times during the week, or at least a couple of days during the week. So I'm not gonna say we might go out to eat, listen to some music for a little bit, and then we home by 10, 11 o'clock. Dinner, music, or.
No, right. No, I know. I get that, but my question is, are the date nights scheduled? Do y'all plan them out, or y'all just kind of, it's like, okay, we about to do something today. We going
to the Fox or something. We'll schedule something like that.
But normally we just freestyle. If I'm off, or like 2 or 3 days a week, we gonna go somewhere at least one day.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta go have lunch. We gotta always go, go out and eat or have lunch somewhere. Baby, meet me for lunch or something.
Yeah. Does he or she still make you laugh? And what was the last thing that you done to make your partner laugh?
We both silly at times.
I don't know.
She a silly motherfucker, like for real.
I don't know.
What was the last thing she done, Bill, to make you laugh?
You said, let me see.
He can't say it because ain't no telling what gonna come out of my mouth.
Hey, Rhonda, this is not a kid friendly show. So hey, keep it real.
You got a couple of classics.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know what was the last thing he done to make you laugh?
I couldn't.
She called me and her brother because me and her brother both got gout and we both had gout at the same time. So she talking about here come them gout boys.
Yeah, I don't tell what
I said. She got a couple of stale jokes.
She got a couple of stale jokes.
He said stale jokes.
If you could give your younger self some advice about marriage prior to getting married, what would it be?
Don't do no. The same way we just been talking about previously. You know what I'm saying? Wait, live your life out. You know what I'm saying? Explore your options. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, even like for a long time, like I say, teenage lovers or whatever, to take your time and make sure it's got to be sufficient for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Bill, if you talking to your son at say he was at the age was when you got married, that's the advice you would give him?
Okay, so listen, our youngest got married young.
Okay.
In college, right after college.
Yeah, no, they were in college.
Okay.
Or it might have been right after, but they got married young. But they had a son before they got married. Then they got married, and then they were divorced like a year and a half later. Wow. But they just married again.
Over the young
on their third. They have 3 kids now, but they just remarried again in December. But when he brought her to meet us and stuff, and I could tell they were moving fast, and I told her, and he kind of got mad at me, but I'm like, look, I'm a woman first. He's not really ready to he wants it because he's seen it with me and his dad, right? But he's not ready. Wow. And he wasn't. And, wow. You know, he wasn't ready for it. And it played a big part in their marriage. But hopefully, and I think now he's, you know, he's matured and he got it together. But yeah, he wasn't ready to be married. Right. And we probably weren't ready to be married, to be honest with you. You know, I was 21, he was 22. He definitely wasn't ready to be married. But he one thing that probably played a role in our marriage too is no female has ever called me, has ever came up, you know, so I kind of figured he was doing stuff, but he never was one to just hang out late, you know what I'm saying? He was home for dinner, he was home. So my thing is like, I'm not a type of female that's gonna, like he just said, go through your phone. As long as I'm not being disrespectful or it's not thrown in my face, I don't know, you know? Yeah. So that's how I looked at things, you know, looking back on it. Yeah, I probably knew certain things just because, one, I never trusted men like that. I just always think, you know, I got more men in my family than women. So I seen how they, you know, talk to you on the phone and then hang up and then talk junk about you, you know, this is that. So, you know, I just never fully, but if it wasn't in my face, what can I do about it? You know, I wasn't going to look for it. I always believed that if something in the dark, it'll come to the light. Yeah, you know.
Right. For sure. I do want to touch base on what you said to your son, though. Like, as a mother, like you said, I don't know if most women would have done that. Like, hey,
why you tell her that? I said, because you're not. I mean, to be honest with you, you're not ready to settle down. I could tell. I see it.
How did you know he wasn't ready? How did you know he wasn't ready? What was he doing to show you that he wasn't ready?
Because he wasn't on track with his life.
I could just, you know, I knew, I kind of know. You know, he was still
crazy.
Yeah. So
did you tell his wife, his wife now? Did you tell her? Did you say that to her in front of him, or you just pulled her to the side when you told her that he wasn't ready?
Because but like I tell both of my boys, I'm a woman first. You can't mistreat a woman, especially to me. In front of me, even though you my son, I love you, I'm gonna be there for you and everything, but I'm still a woman first. You can't just mistreat a woman and just think I'm gonna be like, oh, because he's my son, it's okay. You know, it's right.
And you definitely, like you said, you definitely from that old school, because you got a lot of these young mothers out here and they coddling, protecting their sons and not raising them, and then they just turn out to be even worse. You know what I'm saying? So that's very commendable.
To her, you know, I wouldn't hurt her, say nothing to her like, oh yeah, he doing this. No, I'm not like that, but I'm gonna let him know it's not cool what you're doing, you know. And that's just who I am. Whether it's right or wrong, that's me. I said,
that sounds nothing but right to me. Yeah.
and just think I'm gonna be okay with it just because you're my son. No.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. I mean, and like you said, I'm a woman first. At the end of the day, you said I'm a woman first, you know, and you know, I definitely commend you for that. Okay, I know we're getting kind of close to time, but I do want to do one more game and then ask a couple more questions, and then we'll get y'all out of here. Okay, here. Which of the following would you be willing to do with your partner for an entire year? Travel to a different country every month. B, compete in a savings competition, and whoever saved the most got the pot. C, feed the homeless with 10% of every paycheck. Or D, abstain from sex to get closer mentally.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay.
We go.
Yeah, we up out of here.
All right. On a first date, your partner grabs a food item off your plate without asking. Will there be a second date? A, sure, as long as the rest of the day goes well. B, nope, not a chance. Or C, not a second date, but maybe sex if they're down.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. Your next door neighbor offered you their mink coat worth $40,000, but you weren't home to accept. Your new boo was and did accept. They trashed the coat because of animal cruelty. What do you do? A, thank your new boo. B, trash your new boo. Or C, make your new boo go dumpster diving. Or D, the other.
C, he going dumpster diving. He going diving for that coat. What you say?
I say C.
Okay, all right. Bill, I think Bill kind of alluded to this earlier, but hopefully he repeats his answer. What season would you say your marriage is in right now? And please describe. When I say season, like, are you in a season of rebuilding? One couple described their relationship in rejuvenation. What would you say? What season would you say your marriage is in after 32 years?
I like that. I like rejuvenation. I like that.
Okay.
I like rejuvenation.
Why would you assign it rejuvenation?
Because it was kind of like I say, we just not, like I say, getting back into the lovey-dove stage of each other after not being in that stage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we rejuvenating our love and our marriage for each other. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We're looking at each other in a different way now.
Okay. Have either one of you read the book 5 Love Languages?
No, but I heard of that. I think
I try to suggest this to all the couples that come on our show. I want to highly recommend reading it, and I say this because it's a very, very, very easy read. Very easy read, and I say that is because, and I ask couples, and I always ask couples this: do you know what your partner's love language is? Because it's important to know what your partner's love language is, but it's also important to speak to them in their love language. That cuts down that, and Griselda, please chime in on this, but I think that cuts down on when you have those communication lapses.
Yeah, and also understanding what your own love language is, because you want to be able to communicate how you need to be loved. There's actually the five love languages. There's actually a quiz online that you can take.
And I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you, Bill. Once we get done with all this, I'll send it to you, and you and your wife can take it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why it's important, really, because sometimes we struggle with communicating how we need to be loved and how we want to be loved. And so when people fall short, we're upset. We're not getting our needs met, but they don't know. They don't know. If you're not able to communicate that, and sometimes it's because you don't really understand what that looks like for you and how to label it for you. And again, that also depends on what stage you are in your life, even understanding that. If you're young, you barely know who you are as a woman or who you are as a man. So it's definitely going to be hard for you to communicate what my love language is.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
Yeah, I know. Like for me, it's gifts. It's 5, but it's gifts for me. My wife, I got it wrong the first time, but hers is words of affirmation. So I had to, because I'm big on, if you commit the offense publicly, you need to apologize publicly. So I had to come on here and apologize. But her love language is, she liked words of affirmation. Now, when we first got together, I couldn't understand why she used to pay me compliments all the time. But generally, what we put out is what we want back. So that was her love language. She was telling me what her love, but I wasn't understanding. I'm like, you know, and because of how I grew up, I had women. So me being complimented and getting attention from women wasn't new for me. So her doing that, I wasn't getting that. But that's what she needed. So I had to, once I read the book, I was like, now it made sense why she was doing that, because that's what she needed. And I was doing, mind you, I'm giving her gifts. She didn't want gifts. That wasn't big for her. That's what she needed. But I was putting out, giving to her what I wanted in return. I like gifts. But you have a primary love language, and then you have a secondary love language. I can't remember what my secondary love language is, nor do I. I think hers it might be quality time. So because she likes to spend quality time, that's why we try to do dates and stuff. But I say all that to say, when I tell y'all it's a very good read, I highly suggest y'all read it. It'll take you maybe a day to read that book. You can order it online as well too, Rhonda. Or like I said, I'll send Bill a quiz and y'all can take it. But if you order it, and it's good, like I said, it'll help you kind of cut down on that communication when you do have those communication lapses. I mean, with y'all being married 32 years, I'm sure that's probably few and far in between.
Well, that was my biggest problem with him, was the communication. It's like he's not a talker, but compliments he gives me often.
Okay.
But like just talking, yeah, he kind of holds stuff in a lot.
And you know what, Rhonda, as men, and like Griselda was going back and saying earlier, we fixers. Sometimes we tend to internalize stuff. And I was having a conversation with my wife earlier. I was like, you know what? Women outlive men. I said, that's because the reason y'all do, because y'all be worrying us the doggone devil. She said, no, because y'all internalize stuff and hold on to it and don't let it go. And we were just joking with one another, but that may be some truth to that, because especially as Black men, you don't want to seem weak, because you don't want to seem like you, for lack of a better word, bitching up, because you complaining all the time, you know. But at the end of the day, I think when you're comfortable with your partner, you should be able to say what's going on with you, and know that your woman is not going to emasculate you or make you feel any less than because something's going on with you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think it's important. But with that, I do want to get ready to close it out. I want to be mindful of the time. I appreciate y'all coming on the show, being transparent about your marriage. I do want to ask you before we close it out, is there anything that you would like to leave us with, or any advice that you would like to offer the audience on marriage, relationships?
Stay prayerful in your marriage or whatever the situation you got going on. You know.
Yeah, that's number one.
Communication, like as my wife always stress and emphasize.
Yeah.
And
keep people out your business.
Keep people out your business.
That part. There you go, Rhonda. That's right. Keep people out your business. Do you have any takeaways, Griselda, before we close anything out?
I just want to thank you all for coming on and your transparency and sharing the things that you overcome. You know, I want to say overcome because we all go through things and we don't always come out on the other side. So thank you for what you overcome and still striving to build. And I definitely agree with those 3 takeaways. Staying prayerful and keep people out your business. And, you ride it till the wheels fall off. I like that takeaway that you all stated too. So that would be what I have left. It was a pleasure meeting both of you.
Thank you. You as well.
Yeah, thank you again for being, like she said, being so transparent, coming on here. Like I said, marriage is a sacred institution, and being brave enough, because I've asked a couple of different couples. I mean, my YouTube channel is filled with couples that have came on here, but again, I know I've asked more people than I have on my channel, And everybody's not brave enough to come on here and share their experiences and be transparent about it at that, and keep it 100. Like, hey, this is what happened, but this is how we overcame it. And we're 32 years in this on the other side of it, so we can talk about it. Now, I'm comfortable enough that me and my wife or my husband, we're comfortable enough with sharing our information, and hopefully it'll help somebody else. So thank you for that. I mean that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, Griselda, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and praying us out so we can let them go.
As we just want to thank God for this time together, thanking Him for just the inspiration to help others in their marriage union. Marriage is important. Marriage is ordained by God, and we just thank God for His presence in this situation and for His guidance and continue leading us in the direction to go to help as many people as we can. We want to pray for this couple, the Woods family, for pray for them and their family. Pray for Bill and his health, and just praying that they continue to be strengthened in their union and their journey in their marriage. And we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Thank
All right. Yep. Thank you. All right. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that was another successful episode of Black Marriage Chronicle. It's funny now. Those were the Woods, Billy and Rhonda Woods. We appreciate them coming on. Thank you so much. Again, for coming on with your transparency. Looks like my purple light went out on us, but it's all good. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions that you would like to ask the Woods, leave them below, and we definitely will have them back on our show and have them back on so they can share more 32 years of marriage tips they made it through. So with that, again, I do want to say thank you. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us any comments or questions below. And with that, I'm going to leave you in peace.